Hello, my friend. Sit down, get comfortable, maybe make a cup of tea, or just close your eyes for a moment and take a deep breath in and let it out slowly. This is a story, but it is not just a story. It is a story about you, about me, about all of us. It is a story about a man who felt stuck. He felt like his life was a small, dark room with no windows and no doors. Maybe you have felt like that too. I know I have. Let me tell you his story, and let it be a gentle reminder for your own. Chapter 1: The Man Who Forgot to Dream. His name was Leo. Leo was not old, but he was not young either. He was at the age where life feels like it has already decided what it is going to be. Every morning, the same sound, an alarm clock that felt like a small, angry shout. Every morning, the same routine: get up, wash his face, put on the same kind of clothes, go to the same job. He worked in a tall building in a small room with no windows. He looked at papers all day, numbers, reports, words that did not matter to him. He did his work well. He was polite. He never made trouble. But inside he felt nothing. He was like a machine that was tired but had to keep running. At night he would come home. He would eat dinner alone, looking at his phone. He would watch shows that he did not really enjoy, and then he would sleep, only to wake up and do it all again. One evening, Leo was sitting by his small window. He looked outside. He saw a bird sitting on a branch. The bird was just sitting there, looking around. It was not doing anything special, but Leo felt a strange pain in his chest. He felt jealous of the bird. The bird was free. It could fly away anytime it wanted. Leo felt like he had chains on his feet. Chains made of habit. Chains made of fear. Chains made of this is just how life is. He looked at himself in the dark glass of the window. He did not like the man looking back at him. The man looked tired. The man looked sad. The man looked like he had forgotten how to dream. That night, Leo could not sleep. He lay in his bed, staring at the ceiling. He thought about his life. He thought about when he was a boy. He used to love to draw. He used to draw pictures of spaceships and faraway lands. He used to laugh loudly. He used to believe he could do anything. Where did that boy go? A small, quiet thought came into his mind. It was so small he almost did not hear it. The thought said, what if you try? What if you just try one small thing tomorrow? For the first time in years, Leo listened to that small voice. Chapter 2: The First Small Step. The next morning, the alarm clock shouted again, but this time, Leo did not just get up. He took a deep breath first. He remembered the thought from last night. One small thing. He decided his one small thing would be this: he would walk to work instead of taking the bus. It would take longer, but he wanted to feel the air. He wanted to see the sky. So he did. He walked down his street. He saw a bakery he had never noticed before. The smell of fresh bread was warm and sweet. He saw a little girl laughing with her mother. He saw an old man watering flowers in a small box outside his door. The world was alive. He had just been too closed off to see it. That day at work he did his job, but he felt a little different. The air in his small room felt a little less heavy. That night he did another small thing. He found an old notebook and a pencil. He opened the notebook to the first page. It was white and empty. He looked at it for a long time. He felt scared. What if he tried to draw and it was ugly? What if he had lost his talent? But then he remembered the rule, one small thing. He did not try to draw a spaceship. He just drew a small circle, then another, then a line. It was not a masterpiece. It was just a page with some simple shapes. But it was his. He had created something. For the first time in years, he felt a tiny, warm spark inside his chest. He smiled. Just a little. Chapter 3: The Boy Who Shared His Light. The next day, Leo went to the park near his office during his lunch break. He sat on a bench and ate his simple sandwich. He watched people. He saw a young boy, maybe 7 or 8 years old, sitting on the grass. The boy had a notebook, just like Leo. He was drawing. But the boy was not happy. His shoulders were down. He kept looking at his drawing and shaking his head. Then he would erase it with a small, frustrated hand. Leo felt something. He knew that feeling. He knew the feeling of your idea not matching what comes out on the paper. After a few minutes, Leo stood up. He walked over slowly. He sat on the grass a little bit away from the boy. "Hi," Leo said softly. "Is it okay if I sit here?" The boy looked up. His eyes were a little red. He just nodded. Leo pulled out his own notebook. He opened it to the page with the circles and lines. He showed it to the boy. The boy looked at it. "What is it?" the boy asked. "I don't know," Leo said honestly. "I just started drawing again, after a very, very long time. It is just some shapes, but it made me feel a little better." The boy looked at Leo's simple page. Then he looked at his own. He had been trying to draw a dog. The dog's legs were too long. Its head was too small. "I wanted to draw a dog for my mom," the boy said quietly. "But it looks silly." "Can I see it?" Leo asked. The boy turned the notebook. Leo looked at the drawing. He smiled warmly. "I can see it's a dog," Leo said. "I can see his big, happy ears, and I can see his tail is wagging." The boy looked again. A small smile started to appear on his face. "Really, really," Leo said. "You know, I think the best drawings are the ones that show feeling, and this dog looks like he loves you very much, even with the long legs." The boy laughed. A small, clear, beautiful laugh. "His name is Waffles," the boy said. "Waffles is a great name for a dog," Leo said. They sat together for a while. The boy kept drawing, but now he was not erasing. He was just having fun. Before he left with his mother, who came to get him, the boy turned to Leo. "Thank you, mister," he said. "You are good at making people feel better." Leo walked back to his office. He felt a warmth that was even bigger than the spark from last night. He did not just help himself today. He helped someone else. He shared a small light, and that light grew bigger inside him. Chapter 4: Lessons from a Slow River. The weeks went by. Leo kept doing small things. He walked in the morning. He drew simple shapes in his notebook at night. He started going to the park every day. He saw the boys sometimes and they would wave. One weekend, Leo decided to go for a longer walk. He went to a river on the edge of the city. He sat on a big, flat rock by the water. The river was wide and moved slowly. It did not rush. It just flowed. It was steady. It was patient. As Leo watched the water, he started to think about his life. He thought about all the years he felt stuck. He thought about how he wanted to change everything, all at once. He wanted to quit his job. He wanted to become a famous artist. He wanted to be a completely different person overnight. But that was not how the river worked. The river did not try to reach the ocean in 1 second. It just kept moving, one drop after another, one moment after another. It went around rocks. It found new paths. It never stopped, but it never rushed. A lesson came to Leo as clear as the water. Change is like a river. It does not happen in big jumps. It happens in the flow of small, steady moments. He thought about his English. He had always wanted to learn English better. He had bought big books. He had made big plans. But he always stopped because it felt too hard. He wanted to be fluent in 1 month. That was like the river trying to reach the ocean in 1 second. It was impossible. He made a new promise to himself. One small English word every day, just one, or one simple sentence, like the ones he heard in the park. "Hello, nice date. I like your dog." He would say them in his head. Sometimes he would whisper them to himself. It felt easy. It felt good. It was not scary. He realized something important. Mistakes were not his enemy. Mistakes were his teachers. The river sometimes hits a rock. It does not say, "I failed." It just flows around it and keeps going. Leo decided he would be like the river. He would make mistakes. He would say words wrong. He would draw ugly pictures. and then he would just keep going. Chapter 5: The Box of Time. Leo's life was getting better, but there was one thing that still bothered him: time. He still had to go to his job. He still had to do the things he did not love. It felt like his job took all his time and energy. By the time he got home, he was tired. He wanted to draw. He wanted to sit by the river, but he was too tired. He would sit on his sofa and just watch TV until he fell asleep. One night, he was very frustrated with himself. He took his notebook. He did not draw. He wrote something. He wrote down how he spent his time. He wrote down 7:00 a.m. wake up, 8:00 a.m. leave for work, 9:00 a.m. 6:00 p.m. work, 7:00 p.m. home, 7:00 p.m. 11:00 p.m. TV and phone, 11:00 p.m. sleep. He looked at the block of time from 7:00 p.m. to 11:00 p.m. 4 hours. Every night. 4 hours of watching other people live their lives on a screen. 4 hours of looking at small, bright rectangles. He saw something very clearly. He was not a prisoner of his job. He was a prisoner of his sofa. His job took 8 hours. But those 4 hours at night were his. He was giving them away for free. The next day, he tried something new. When he got home, he did not turn on the TV. He did not pick up his phone. He sat in the quiet for a moment. It felt strange. It felt empty. But then he picked up his notebook. He drew for 30 minutes. It felt wonderful. He had energy. He was not as tired as he thought. He was just bored. He looked at the clock. It was only 7:45 p.m. He still had so much time. He decided to go for a short walk. He walked to the park. The park at night was quiet and peaceful. He saw the stars. He heard the crickets. He came home. He felt peaceful. He read a few pages of a simple book. He went to bed at 10:00 p.m. feeling happy and full. He learned a new lesson that day. We all have a box of time. If we fill it with things that do not matter, we will have no room for the things that do. We must choose carefully what we put in our box. Chapter 6: The Wall of Doubt. Months passed. Leo drew almost every day. His drawings were getting better. Not perfect, but better. He learned new English words. He could say small sentences. He felt stronger. He felt more alive. Then, one day, he saw a poster. It was for a small art show in the park. Anyone could bring one piece of art to show. Leo felt a rush of excitement. Maybe I could show my drawing, he thought. But then, another voice came. A loud, mean voice. The voice of doubt. Show your art? Who do you think you are? Your drawings are for children. Real artists will be there. You will be a joke. Everyone will laugh. You are not good enough. You will never be good enough. The voice was loud. It was so loud, Leo could not sleep that night. The wall of doubt felt so tall and strong. It felt impossible to climb. The next day he went to the river. He sat on his rock. He felt small. He felt weak. He told the river his fear. I am not good enough, he whispered. He watched the river flow. He remembered the boy in the park. He remembered how a few kind words helped him. He remembered that the boy did not need a perfect drawing. He just needed someone to see him. Leo understood something. The voice of doubt was a liar. It told him he needed to be perfect. But that was not true. He did not need to be perfect. He just needed to be real. He just needed to try. The river did not need to be the biggest or the fastest. It just needed to flow. He decided. He would not listen to the liar. He would be like the river. He would go around the rock of doubt. He chose one of his drawings. It was a simple drawing of the river with the big, flat rock. It was not perfect, but it was full of feeling. It was full of his journey. He took it to the art show. Chapter 7: The Courage to be Seen. The park was full of people. There were many artists. They had beautiful paintings. They had fancy frames. Leo felt small again. His drawing was just paper pinned to a board. It looked so simple. He stood near his drawing, feeling shy. He wanted to run away. He wanted to go back to his quiet room, but he stayed. People walked by. Most just looked quickly and walked on. Leo's heart sank a little. But then a woman stopped. She looked at his drawing for a long time. She had kind eyes and gray hair. She turned to Leo. "Did you draw this?" she asked. Leo nodded. He could not speak. "I love it," she said softly. "I come to this park every day. I sit by that river when my heart is heavy. This drawing, it feels like peace. It feels like hope. It feels like someone who understands." Leo felt tears in his eyes. He tried to speak, but his voice was shaky. "Thank you," he whispered. "That is exactly how I feel when I am there." The woman smiled. She reached out and gently touched his arm. "Never stop creating," she said. "The world needs more peace. The world needs more hope." She walked away, but her words stayed with Leo. They warmed him from the inside. One person, one connection. That was all it took. He did not need everyone to like his art. He just needed to be seen by one kind soul. He learned the most important lesson of all. Courage is not about being fearless. Courage is about feeling the fear and doing it anyway. It is about sharing your heart, even when your hands are shaking. Chapter 8: The Man Who Found His Way. Leo walked home that evening. He did not feel like the same man who had looked in the dark window months ago. He was not perfect. His life was not perfect. He still had his job. He still had hard days. He still had doubts. But now he had a path. He knew how to walk it. He knew that discipline was not about being hard on himself. It was about choosing his small things every day. Walking, drawing, learning one word. He knew that confidence was not about thinking he was better than others. It was about knowing he was enough just as he was. It was about sharing his drawing, even if it was not perfect. He knew that patience was like the river. It was about trusting the small steps. It was about not giving up when progress felt slow. He knew that time was his treasure. He had to protect it from things that did not matter, so he could fill it with things that did. He knew that honesty meant being real with himself. It meant admitting he was unhappy, so he could find his way back to joy. He knew that learning English, like learning anything, was a slow and beautiful journey. It was okay to make mistakes. It was okay to sound funny. Every wrong word was just a step towards the right one. And he knew that never giving up was not about being strong all the time. It was about getting up one more time, every time you fall. It was about listening to the small, quiet voice inside and ignoring the loud, mean one. Chapter 9: The Message for You. So, my friend, this is where I leave you with Leo. He is probably sitting by his river right now, with his notebook, drawing the way the light touches the water. He is at peace. But this story is not really about Leo. It is about you. Maybe you are like Leo was. Maybe you feel stuck in a room with no windows. Maybe you have forgotten how to dream. Maybe a loud, mean voice tells you that you are not good enough. Please listen to me now. I'm talking to you like a friend. That room has a door. You can find it. You do not have to change your whole life today. Just do one small thing. Tomorrow morning, take a deep breath. Look out the window. Say one new word in English. Write one sentence in a notebook. Walk for 5 minutes. Smile at one person. That one small thing is your first step. It is your first drop of water in the river. Be patient with yourself. Be kind to yourself. You are learning. You are growing. Even when it does not feel like it. You are moving. You are flowing. The river does not compare itself to the ocean. It just flows. Do not compare your beginning to someone else's middle. Do not compare your chapter 2 to someone else's chapter 20. Your story is your own. It is beautiful because it is yours. Keep going. Keep trying. Keep believing. The world needs your light. It needs your drawings. It needs your words. It needs your kindness. Even if your light is small, it matters. Share it. Someone out there needs to see it. Someone out there needs to feel seen by you, just like the boy in the park needed Leo. A gentle goodbye and a small request. So, my friend, as we come to the end of our time together, I want you to do something for me. Just one small thing. Put your hand on your heart. Can you feel it beating? That is your life. That is your chance. That is your beautiful, beating heart, full of potential. Believe in it. Believe in yourself. If this story helped you today, if it made you feel a little warmer inside, or a little more brave, then I have a small request. It is not an advertisement. It is just a friendly ask from one human to another. If you would like to help this little corner of the world grow, if you would like more stories like this, you can help us by liking this video. It tells us that this story mattered to you. And if you would like to walk with us on this journey, if you would like to keep learning and growing together, you can subscribe to the channel. It is a way of saying, I am here. I am trying. I am part of this gentle community. And finally, if you know someone who feels stuck, who feels like they are in a room with no windows, please share this story with them. Maybe it will be their one small thing. Maybe it will be the hand that helps them find the door. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for trying. Go now and be like the river. Flow gently, flow steady, flow with hope. I believe in you, always. Goodbye, my friend. Until next time.